Good morning, dear students. So, in this session, we'll start with the test on aggregates. That is depends upon the shape test. Again, it has been further classified as flakiness index test, elongation index test, and then the angularity number test. So, this flakiness and elongation test, which will which will gives the proper shape of the aggregates. So, what we are going to place either in the cement concrete roads or else in the bituminous roads, right? So the main theory behind this flakiness test and elongation test, right? So here the shape of the aggregate particles, which is determined by the percentage of flaky and elongated particles, so which are contained in the aggregate samples. So this flakiness and elongation, these tests are conducted on a coarse aggregate to assess the shape of the aggregates. So these aggregates which are flaky or elongated, which are determined to find out the workability and stability of the bituminous mixes, and they do not provide any good interlocking properties, and hence the mixes with an excess part of this elongated and flaky materials will causes the bad quality in the concrete part. And for the base course and the construction of the bituminous and the cement concrete types, the presence of flaky and elongated particles are considered undesirable, as they may cause inherent weakness as well as the probabilities of breaking down under the heavy loads, and especially the rounded aggregates which are preferred in the cement concrete road construction, as the workability of the concrete which will get increases. If the workability of the concrete get increases, then it is easy to place, easy to compact, and then it is easy to level that entire concrete works. And here the angular shape of the aggregates, which are purely desirable for granular base cores due to the increased stability which is derived from the better interlocking when the shape of the aggregates deviates more from the spherical shape. As in the case of angular, the flaky and elongated aggregates, the void content in the aggregate samples of any specified size which increases, and hence the grain size distribution of the graded aggregates are suitably altered in order to obtain the minimum voids in the dry mix or highest dry density, right? So by conducting this test, ultimately we'll get the results in terms of percentage. So as per the Indian standards, they have given certain limits for this flakiness and elongation index, so that values it should be lies within those particular limits. The flakiness index of the aggregates is the percentage of the particles whose least dimension, that is in terms of thickness, which is less than 3/5 or 0.6 of their mean dimension. So if you consider two different sieves there, so that thickness it should be like 3/5 or 0.6 times of their mean dimension. The test is not applicable to the sizes which are smaller than 6.3 mm. The aggregates which are less than 6.3 mm, this test is not suitable for to find out that flakiness property and flakiness and elongation property to those types of the aggregates whose size is lesser than 6.3 mm. Okay, so these are the apparatus so here you can see the standard thickness gauge, and we require IS sieve sizes start from 63 mm, 50 mm, 40 mm, 31.5, 25, 20, 16, 12.5, 10, as well as 6.3 mm, and even we require a weighing balance also. So this is the standard thickness gauge here, right? So here they have given this is made by the metal, and this particular plate consisting of the different holes having the different thickness, right? And these holes are the depends upon the standard sieve sizes, Okay, so as we have discussed, these holes, I mean the thickness of this particular holes, that is depends upon the mean sieve sizes to the multiply by 0.6 to that mean sieve sizes. So it gives what the standard thickness of those aggregates, what we will consider in the construction part. Okay, and coming to the part of the procedure, here we will take the sample which is sieved with the sieves mentioned in the table. So here you can see the table, right? So here we need to arrange the sieves as per this. Can you see here 63, 50, 40, 31.5, 25, 20, 16, 12.5, 10, and then at last 6.3. So we need to arrange the sieves as per this sequence, and we need to pour the aggregates in that particular sieves. So we don't have proper quantity of the aggregates here, so we need to place the random aggregates which are available in the particular site or what we are going to use in the construction part. Okay, so think that every sieve sizes will be having at least 200 particles, or might be if it is available, or if not, you need to consider minimum 200 particles of the aggregates. It should be retained in a particular sieve sizes. For example, you have arranged the sieve sizes from 63 to 50, right? So in that 63 to 50, the aggregates which are passing from 63 and which are retained in 50 mm IS sieve. So the aggregates which are retained in 50 mm IS sieve. So those aggregates, it should be around minimum 200 particles. I mean approximately it should be 200 particles, such that those 200 particles we are going to consider for testing purpose. And similarly for the next sieve size, that is 50 to 40, the aggregates which are passing from 50 and which are retained in 40 mm IS sieve, the aggregates which are retained in 40 mm IS sieve, that one we are going to consider. Similarly 40 to 31.5, 31.5 to 25, 25 to 20. So like that, the every sieve set, I mean the sieve sizes, sieves, it should be considering minimum 200 particles. Okay, so here that 200 particles weight we are going to consider as the capital W. Okay, the value of W which is obtained as the aggregates, that is approximately 200 particles, that weight we are going to consider as capital W, and which is different for different sieve sizes. So that capital W which will get vary depends upon the sieve sizes there. For example, the aggregates which are retained in 50 mm IS sieve, that weight is considered as first W, and similarly the aggregates which are retained in 40 mm IS sieve, that sieves we are going to consider as the next capital W. Like that, the corresponding the sieve sizes passing and retained, so that retained particles of 200 particles we are going to consider as capital W there. Okay, so like that we are going to note down all the capital W values as per the sieve set there. Okay, so after weighing that capital W values, we are noting down here. Okay, so after in this column, after to this, we will get one more column, that is the aggregates which are retained in particular sieve sizes, which is about around 200 particles. So that weight we are going to consider as capital W. And then similarly, those aggregates, whatever which are retained in a particular sieve sets, so that one we are going to pass through this standard thickness gauge. Okay, so you can see the standard thickness gauge here. So here they have given the first hole, that is 63 to 50. The aggregates which are retained in 50 mm IS sieve, no? So those aggregate samples we need to pass in this particular hole, that is mentioned as 63 to 50. So from this thickness gauge, some of the aggregates will get passes and some of the aggregates will get retained. So you need to collect the passing materials from this thickness gauge. Okay, so similarly the next aggregate sieve sets, that is 50 to 40 mm, the aggregates which are retained in 40 mm IS sieve, again you need to consider the passing materials here, so that passing materials weight will be capital W. So like that, you need to note down all the capital W values by considering the minimum 200 particles from the retained sieve edges, right? So you will be getting the capital W value and you will be getting the capital small w value, right? And then you need to find out the flakiness index by using this formula. Okay, so here you can see the small w1, w2, w3, w4 divided by capital W1, W2, W3 plus W4. It's nothing but what? The summation of small w values and the summation of capital W values, right? So multiply by 100, you will get the flakiness index. Okay, so similarly, coming to this part, that is the thickness gauge, we have already known to this, that is 33.9. so how this 33.9 value have come means, we have considered this 63 and 50, the first sieve sets. Mean dimension of this, that is 63 plus 50 divided by 2, you will get the mean, and then multiply by 0.6, you will get the thickness gauge values, right? So when you have measured the thickness of this hole, I mean with respect to the horizontal dimensions, you will get 33.9 mm as the width of this particular hole. Okay, and next, coming to the part that is elongation index. So here in elongation index, we are having a standard length gauge. So for thickness gauge we have used, for flakiness index we have used the thickness gauge, whereas for this elongation index we are using this length gauge. So here also most of the procedure is same, only the thing is like what, instead of a thickness gauge, here we'll use the length gauge for to conduct the experiment. And here you can see the vertical poles, so we need to pass the materials within these vertical poles. Okay, and the procedure part is like, again we need to arrange the sieves as we have arranged in the flakiness index test. So that is from 63, 50, then 40, 31.5, 25, 20, 16, 12.5, 10, and then 6.3, like that we need to arrange the sieves. And then again we need to collect the capital W values, right? That capital W values are nothing but the aggregates which are retained in a particular sieve set. Okay, so next thing is, till now the procedure will remain same, and the next procedure is like those aggregates which are retained in a particular sieve sets, right? So that aggregates we need to pass between these vertical poles, right? So here we need to collect the retained particles from this length gauge. So in the thickness gauge we have considered the passing materials, whereas in the length gauge we are going to consider the retained particles. So the aggregates which are retained through this length gauge, that one we are going to consider, and that retained particles weight we will consider, that weight will be small w here. Okay, only the thing is that much, but make sure that you need to pass the aggregates through lengthwise. Okay, and here also the formula will remain same. The aggregates which are retained from the length gauge, that weight is considered as small w, and the aggregates which are retained in a particular sieve sets, that is the 200 particles, what we will consider, that weight will be capital W. Okay, so we'll take the summation values of that, and then the formula will be elongation index is equals to summation of small w divided by summation of capital W multiplied by 100. Okay, so that gives the elongation index. Okay, and here you can see the determination of the combined index. So usually this value we will prefer where in the construction of roads and all, I mean the what we are going to set up the values. Okay, so here as per the MOTH, that is MORTH, that is the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, the government of India, which has been specified the permissible limit of the combined index and the elongation index for coarse aggregates which are used to be different types of pavements. So here different values have been specified for different road works as per the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. Okay, and here the flakiness index, it should be carried out on a selected sample of the aggregate, and then the flakiness index values have been calculated. Okay, and it's nothing but what, to find out this combined index, first we'll take the aggregate samples and we'll conduct the flakiness index as per the procedure explained in the earlier part. Okay, and now the flaky particles which are passing through the respective slots of the thickness gauge and which are removed, and the elongation index is carried out on the same remaining non-flaky particles. So here what you will do, in the flakiness index test, few aggregates will get passed from the thickness gauge, right, and few aggregates will get retained. So you will consider the passing materials from the thickness gauge, right, and those retained particles, so whatever the retained particles are there from the thickness gauge, that retained particles you are going to consider for the elongation index test. So the passing materials are nothing but the flaky materials, and the retained particles are nothing but the non-flaky materials. So here for the elongation index, you need to consider the non-flaky materials, and then you are going to find out the elongation index. Okay, so you have understood that how you are going to consider the flakiness index and then the elongation index. The flakiness index will be follow the same procedure, only the thing is like the elongation index, how you are going to consider, you need to take the non-flaky materials which are retained from the thickness gauge, and then you are going to find out the elongation index test. That value will be considering as elongation index for C. Okay, so combined index formula will be the summation of flakiness index plus elongation index, which is considered from the non-flaky materials. Okay, and here the maximum combined elongation and flakiness index of the coarse aggregate is 30% from WMM base course, DBM binder course, SDBC surface course, BC surface course for highway pavement. So this particular value have been limited about 30%, that is the combined index value. Okay, so this is what the procedure of this flakiness index as well as the elongation